The analysis showed that Docx did indeed play very strongly during the national interclubs, but not to the extent that was statistically relevant to accuse him of fraud. The strongest game was played after analysis against Robert Sherman's during the Brashat Open 2013 with a performance of 3300 elo. However, conditions were so controlled that foul play was excluded here. It was therefore decided not to initiate proceedings against Docx. Now, there's a reason that we're covering this, you guys, because this is an article 10 years ago, which means there was an investigation into this player regarding cheating. All right, you guys, so here we go. We are going to move on. We're going to start with this image that I saw. Now, this is an image from Facebook, of course, from, I believe, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. We have this screenshot. Now, this is, I will just read it out. This was written by Arthur Kogan. He is a strong grandmaster from Israel, currently living in Spain, someone I actually worked with for a while back in 2013. So, we see breaking news. Many years ago, I told you about him. I witnessed his cheating system even online, playing against me in ICC, also known as the Internet Chess Club, and after checking his games with his sudden big raise in late age, I warned many organizers. Meantime, he destroyed tournaments for many honest players, including famous GMs. FIDE and ACP, FIDE of course the governing body, and ACP, the Association of Chess Professionals, sadly ignored my report since he could pass the test with his still evident system of cheating. But finally, after beating a blind chess student and ignoring sportive values without shaking the hands, not before or after his brilliant win, and hardly sitting near the board all the game, of course with all the emotional damage involved to the blind player having the tournament of his life, till then also destroying his chances for a norm. Still remember, anyway, no one can or should be accused without enough proofs. But thanks to a very wise, experienced organizer and a great arbiter, the famous IM Docx that refused the daily check was caught in the toilet with a mobile in his hands. Being shocked, he didn't even argue and decided to leave the tournament. Sadly, after so many years around without being stopped, what kind of punishment should he get from FIDE or his federation, if at all? Let's see. Okay, so we now have an article which I also translated earlier. I'll adjust the scene just a little bit so you guys can see this. Let me adjust it just a little bit so you can see it. This is translated article. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. There we go. All right, so we have a translated article. Docx says, never doubted the result. Docx, I guess it's an old article, it says was charged with fraud, but his name was completely cleared after an investigation. Professor Regan exonerates Dr. X. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Let me adjust the scene, of course. Yeah, so okay, this is from 2013. Let me make this I think this is good enough. Here we go. Okay, this is fine. So let's scroll down. So it says Professor Regan exonerates Docx. This week, Antwerp resident Docx has been cleared by the board of directors across the board of some allegations that linked him to fraud. Docx would go to the toilet too much during a game and be off his plate. Now this is translated, of course, to be clear, unnecessarily much off his plate unnecessarily much time. The first official accusation complaints date from the Open tournament in Ghent, which of course is in Belgium. Suspicions were also expressed during the national interclubs and during the tournament in Brashat, where Docx was extra guarded and his friends were kept out of the tournament hall. The union decided to take the matter seriously and started an investigation. Before that, it called on an expert in the field, Professor Kenneth Regan, who previously investigated similar files for FIDE. His conclusion was very clear: nothing to worry about. The report of the board of directors of the union says the following about this. Professor Regan measure the strength of the moves played to determine the intrinsic strength with which a player performs. If an exceptional performance was established, it was compared with arbitrator reports on the player's actions during the game. It is not uncommon for players at 2500 level to set performances ranging from 2900 to 3000 elo. Even performance of 3300 can occur if a player gets a known variant on the board and is prepared for it, for example using a planning engine. The analysis showed that Docx did indeed play very strongly during the national interclubs, but not to the extent that was statistically relevant to accuse him of fraud. The strongest games Stefan Docx played were against lower rated players and could not be reconciled with arbitrator reports of suspicious action. Performance was normal against stronger players. The games played during other competitions were also normal. The strongest game was played after analysis against Robert Sherman's during the Brashat Open 2013 with a performance of 3300 elo. However, conditions were so controlled that foul play was excluded here. It was therefore decided not to initiate proceedings against Stefan Docx. Now, there's a reason that we're covering this, you guys. This is an article 10 years ago, which means there was an investigation into this player regarding cheating. Now, based on what we just saw, the post from yesterday by Grandmaster Arthur Kogan. Arthur Kogan is saying very clearly that there was that something happened. I believe there was a tournament in Spain. I think it was Benidorm, if I'm not mistaken, very, very recently. Docx, hopefully the name of my friends has now also been cleared. And it says, I knew nothing was wrong. Docx himself indicated in a short email conversation that he was relieved by the decision, but immediately added that he had never doubted the outcome. According to him, the complaint was mainly the result of some frustrated professional chess players. I knew that there was nothing wrong, and because I had my parties checked by engines myself, I also knew well enough that my parties were not really full of top choices, except for my match against Robert in Brashat, where I apparently played at level 3300. Secondly, I play for pleasure. I'm not a professional chess player and should not earn my living with it. That is why I did not go against these things and people hard. As a professional chess player, this would of course have been more sensitive. Now that the matter is over, he hopes to fully focus on his playing level again. For the rest, he hopes that the name of his friends has been cleared and that the union can respond adequately to such matters. All in all, I hope that something good has come out of the whole thing and that the Belgian union has now set up some rules and guidelines for such matters in the better treatment for the future. I would like to say that I was sorry that my friends Alain Talon and Patrick Van de Voort have been discredited because they were kept out of the game room during the Brashat tournament while they have been following me for 20 years and I've done nothing wrong at all. I know that that affected them too. So anyway, you guys who are wondering, this is an article from 2013 about a player, Stefan Docx, where they say that there were suspicions of cheating and he was completely cleared by Professor Kenneth Regan, FIDE, and maybe the ACP as well. So he's completely cleared 9 years ago, nearly 10 years ago. He was completely cleared, but then it turns out that apparently, if we look at this tweet again from yesterday from the very strong grandmaster and trainer Arthur Kogan, that apparently something has happened in this tournament, in a tournament very recently in Spain. I believe it's a tournament in Benidorm, which he played in. And what happened? Stefan Docx was cheating. Has anybody checked on GMHikaru? Very funny in the time of Nick. Very funny. So 10 years ago, basically, there were apparently people who thought that this player was cheating. He was completely cleared by the professor and everybody else. And now apparently it comes to light that apparently he has in fact been caught here in a tournament in Spain in the year of 2022. So I just thought I would cover this because this is a fairly relevant topic. Obviously, people are worried about such things. So they played chess 10 years ago. Very funny, you guys. So very, very, very serious. And it does make you wonder about a lot of different things. So this is the first article that we want to cover. Now we're going to move on a little bit. And we'll keep going. 2022, 2012, what's the relation? Well, the relation is that in 2013, there was this, there were apparently allegations. People thought this guy might be cheating. FIDE investigated. Professor Kenneth Regan checked it out. Completely cleared. Nothing suspicious. Nothing going on. And now based on this tweet from the Israeli Grandmaster Arthur Kogan, it appears that he's been caught. They say the famous Arthur Kogan's word, it says, thanks to a very wise, experienced organizer and a great arbiter, the famous IM Docx that refused to be checked daily was caught in the toilet with a mobile in his hands. So if we look at what Arthur Kogan has said, yeah, Arthur Kogan he's a famous trainer. He's Israeli Grandmaster. I worked with him back in 2013. And it's saying that he was caught with a mobile in his hand. It says, being shocked, he didn't argue and decided to just leave the tournament immediately. He was watching TikToks. Yes, exactly.